Seems like it was a dream that has somehow faded into memory and will never be the same again. For years, the gates of Neverland Ranch remained closed, but one part of the estate was more mysterious than any other. A sealed garage Jackson had personally designed long off limits to even family. When the door was finally opened in 2024, the world expected dust and memorabilia. What they got was something else entirely. Royces frozen in time and personal notebooks. They opened Michael Jackson's garage, and what they found inside will shock you. The forgotten garage. In the years following Michael Jackson's death in 2009, Neverland Ranch, once a vibrant wonderland pulsing with laughter music and life, slowly transformed. The carnival rides, which had twirled endlessly beneath the California sun, stood rusting and silent. The laughter of children, once a constant soundtrack, vanished. The menagerie of exotic animals that had roamed freely, captivating visitors and staff alike, were relocated or passed on, leaving only their empty enclosures behind. The sprawling 2,700-acre estate, known for its whimsical charm, had become a mausoleum of memories. The shimmering lake no longer reflected the glow of festive lights. The sprawling gardens grew wild, tangled in weeds and neglect. The echo of "Heal the World" faded into a distant, haunting whisper. Yet within this vast kingdom of ghosts, one place stood resolutely untouched, sealed off, cloaked in silence, and hidden from the public eye or prying hands. Behind the grandiose mansion, concealed almost as an afterthought, was a reinforced structure, a fortress in its own right. Unlike the airy halls and glass windows of the main house, this place had no light but what the narrow slit of a chained, rusted door allowed. For over a decade, this door remained a boundary between the outside world and the intimate sanctuary inside. While estate sales liquidated prized memorabilia, legal battles played out, and family members sifted through belongings, this garage remained intact. Rumors swirled among the inner circle. Some said the garage held Jackson's most personal treasures, gifts from his children, rare vehicles customized beyond belief, and artifacts reflecting his secret passions. Others whispered darker theories, unreleased music, personal journals, or even evidence related to the scandals that haunted him. For years, no one dared to breach this sanctum. Then came 2024. As part of a sweeping legal audit on all remaining properties tied to Jackson's estate, driven by renewed financial scrutiny and shifting ownership interests, the order was given. Open everything. They opened Michael Jackson's garage, and what they found inside will shock you. The man behind the garage. Michael Jackson was unlike any other superstar, a global icon whose life was lived largely in the spotlight, yet fiercely guarded behind layers of privacy. While millions saw the dazzling performances, the music videos, and the public persona, few glimpsed the private world he carefully crafted away from the cameras. The garage at Neverland Ranch, sealed for years and untouched, stands as a testament to this hidden side of Michael. It was more than just a place to store cars. It was a sanctuary, a physical manifestation of his need to protect what he held dear. Each vehicle, each personal item was chosen, preserved, and shielded, reflecting the man's meticulous nature and profound desire for control in a life marked by relentless public scrutiny. Those who knew Michael describe him as a perfectionist, someone who sought refuge in the small details and routines that gave him a sense of peace. His artistry was defined not only by his boundless creativity, but also by this precision, the way he curated every element of his world to tell his story on his own terms. Members of Michael's inner circle have often spoken of his profound attachment to the garage, describing it as more than just a storage space. For Michael, it was a private sanctuary where he could escape the demands of fame and reconnect with the things that brought him comfort and inspiration. Behind the scenes, Michael struggled with the weight of fame and the pressures that came with it. The garage's long closed door symbolizes more than just physical security. It represents the boundaries he set between his public image and private reality. In this secret space, shielded from the noise and chaos, Michael could simply be himself. The treasures inside are more than luxury or memorabilia. They are fragments of a complex individual seeking solace, continuity, and identity. Understanding Michael's private world brings new meaning to the discovery of his garage. It reminds us that beneath the global legend was a man who valued sanctuary control and the quiet preservation of his legacy. The door that wouldn't open. The day arrived like a storm on the horizon. Technicians, locksmiths, and estate representatives gathered in the early dawn, their breath fogging the cool air. Cameras, drones, and security personnel formed a perimeter, ensuring no unauthorized entry. The rusted metal door loomed before them. Despite years of neglect, it was unyielding, a silent sentinel guarding its secrets. The keypad glowed faintly before dying completely, its circuits fried by time or protective fail-safes. The door's heavy bolts, forged from a custom alloy rumored to be a blend of titanium and steel, resisted even the most advanced cutting tools. Attempts to jam or bypass the mechanism failed repeatedly. Specialists who had cracked open bank vaults and secured government facilities stood baffled. Every attempt was met with silent resistance, a testament to a design meant to keep everything inside sealed forever. Finally, amid a cloud of sparks and grinding metal, the door surrendered. A creaking groan echoed through the silence as it swung open, revealing a void. Inside was darkness, thick and unyielding. No electricity flowed here, no ventilation stirred the stale air, which smelled faintly of oil leather and decades of untouched history. Flashlights pierced the gloom, revealing a scene that felt more like a tomb than a garage. Rows upon rows of vehicles sat like frozen ghosts, their surfaces coated in a thin patina of dust, but otherwise pristine. Each car was perfectly preserved tires, inflated, as if ready to roll, chrome accents gleaming faintly under the beam of light windshields, unmarred and clear. It was as though time itself had paused in 2009, capturing a moment frozen in amber. Among the collection were classic luxury models, sleek sports cars, and bizarre custom rides rumored to have been commissioned by Michael himself. Each bore unique touches, hand-painted motifs, intricate inlays, and personalized interiors embroidered with his initials or lyrics. But more than the vehicles, something else caught the eye. On one wall, faintly visible through the dust and age, a faded golden sign was painted, "Drive Your Dreams." This was no mere storage space. It was a sanctuary, a secret refuge, a testament to a man's passion, creativity, and the private world he retreated into when the glare of fame became too much. Here behind that unyielding door, the essence of Michael Jackson's untold story lay waiting to be uncovered. Chrome and silence. As the crew cautiously stepped fully into the cavernous garage, the heavy silence that had enveloped the space for years was almost tangible. The faint hum of power surged through hidden conduits, and slowly the overhead lights flickered back to life, cutting through decades of darkness like a soft awakening. The first vehicle that emerged from the shadows was a stunning 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche, its turquoise paint gleaming faintly beneath the cold LED glare. The bodywork, despite years untouched, retained a pristine shine, as if it had been polished moments before the room was sealed. The white leather interior was immaculate, not a speck of dust to mar its luxurious surface. Every stitch in the upholstery remained taut, a testament to the careful preservation efforts, or perhaps the very absence of use. This Corniche was not just any car. It was Michael Jackson's inaugural luxury automobile, purchased during the zenith of his Thriller era, a time when his star was no longer rising but blazing in full force. For Michael, this car was a symbol, the first tangible marker of a new chapter. It wasn't just about status, but about entering a world of refined elegance where control and quietude mattered as much as flash and spectacle. Moving deeper into the garage, the team's eyes were drawn to a 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood. This wasn't a mere vintage classic. It was a car imbued with history and prestige, known for its association with U.S. presidents and the crème de la crème of Hollywood elites. The Fleetwood's imposing, boxy frame radiated a timeless, regal authority. It was a perfect physical embodiment of Michael's yearning for legacy and class, a rolling fortress of dignity amid a life defined by constant scrutiny. Behind the Cadillac sat another Rolls-Royce, a silver cloud, an exquisite collector's piece known for its rarity and opulence. Only about 500 silver clouds were ever made, and this one's presence here whispered of the king of pop's obsessive taste for perfection and exclusivity. The meticulous engineering of this vehicle, with its handcrafted details and smooth ride, mirrored Michael's own quest for flawlessness. Each automobile in this room was more than a vehicle. Each represented a unique period in Michael's life, a reflection of his evolving identity, his desires, and his private world behind the public spectacle. They were silent sentinels, chrome and leather memoirs frozen in time. The Rolls-Royce that started it all. Of all the vehicles hidden in that hallowed garage, the 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche commanded a presence unlike any other. It wasn't just the gleaming turquoise finish or the blue leather that captivated observers. This car was a symbol, a chapter in Michael's life that went far beyond horsepower or design. Beneath its sleek hood was a 6.75-liter V8 engine generating around 200 horsepower and capable of reaching a top speed of 124 miles per hour. Yet Michael was never one for speed. Friends and insiders often described the Corniche as his quiet ride. It was less about racing or thrill and more about creating a sanctuary. They spare no expense. Finest quality leathers, cheap skin carpeting, and polished wood is what Rolls-Royce is famous for. His personal cocoon, where the noise of the outside world faded to silence. Inside the dashboard told its own story. There lay a faded cassette tape, partially ejected from the deck, its label worn, but still legible off the wall. The tape was paused halfway through the haunting track, "She's Out of My Life," a song known for its raw, emotional vulnerability. This small detail transformed the car from a mere vehicle into a rolling diary, a private space where Michael could retreat into memories, introspection, and the echoes of his own artistry. Historical records indicate that the Corniche was registered just months before Michael embarked on the Bad World Tour, a period when his career surged into new realms of global dominance. Staff members recalled seeing him late at night, seated quietly in the driver's seat, headphones on, absorbed in looping demos of his music. It was a moment of rare solitude away from the blinding spotlight. In many ways, the Corniche marked the inception of Michael's private empire, not a kingdom of public fame or sprawling estates, but a realm of silence and personal refuge. Within its chrome boundaries, he could be simply Michael, not the king of pop. It was a symbol of control in a life often defined by chaos, a physical embodiment of his need to pause, breathe, and just be. Symbols of a shifting identity. As they journeyed deeper into the cavernous garage, a subtle shift emerged, not just in the variety of vehicles, but in what they represented. Here, the cars ceased to be mere modes of transportation, and instead became tangible symbols of Michael Jackson's complex and often contradictory public persona. One of the most striking was a pristine 1985 Mercedes-Benz 500 Seal, its sleek silhouette nearly untouched by time. The doors were still sealed with yellowed tape, a silent testament to the car's long period of dormancy. This particular model was no ordinary luxury sedan. Renowned for its whisper-quiet ride and factory-installed bulletproof windows, It was a car designed to shield its occupant from the outside world, a fortress on wheels. Throughout the height of Michael's legal battles and the storm of public scrutiny, this Mercedes served as his sanctuary, the kind of refuge only a star engulfed by controversy could truly appreciate. It was his cocoon, his armored veil silently escorting him through trials that demanded both resilience and invisibility. Nearby, a silver Spur 2 touring limousine gleamed faintly under the dim garage lights, its luxurious details whispering stories of grand charity galas and carefully orchestrated public appearances. This limousine was far from ostentatious showboating. Rather, it was a masterclass in subtle opulence. Inside, a retractable moonroof invited the outside in when desired, while an intricate fiber-optic star ceiling bathed the cabin in a serene celestial glow. Hidden speakers were seamlessly integrated, allowing for private musical interludes or whispered conversations away from prying ears. This was the vehicle of humility wrapped in wealth, the perfect visual metaphor for Michael's carefully curated image during his philanthropic years. The car's elegance didn't scream wealth. It whispered responsibility and quiet generosity. Are these all Michael's cars? These are some of them. Some of them? Some of them. More cars. More cars. But then came the crown jewel of mystery, the Phantom 6, arguably the rarest and most enigmatic piece in the entire collection. Cloaked in a matte black exterior, its cream leather interior was meticulously handcrafted, offering the utmost in comfort and discretion. What set this Phantom apart, however, was its customized design. It had no rear windows. Instead, the rear cabin was fitted with high-definition internal screens, creating a sanctuary for private viewing or meetings. This was not a car for public display or even for casual transport. It was a moving fortress for someone retreating further from the public gaze. A car designed not to be seen, but to see. It whispered of paranoia, of an artist who had conquered the world's stage, but now sought refuge behind digital veils and privacy screens. Together, these vehicles formed a narrative arc from the early days of rising fame to the tense fortifications of public battles, and finally to withdrawal and near invisibility. They were not just cars. They were armor layers of protection shaped by the harsh glare of fame, the toll of scrutiny, and the ever-increasing desire for control over his own narrative. The van that shouldn't be here. Then, amidst the limousines and bespoke luxury cars, something entirely unexpected caught the eye. Tucked in a shadowed corner was a 1993 Ford Econoline E150 van, utterly unremarkable at first glance. Its beige, unmarked exterior was plain, almost mundane. There were no chrome trims or polished logos to announce its presence. No shimmering paint job to catch the eye, just a utilitarian van seemingly out of place in a garage filled with symbols of grandeur. But appearances here were deceiving. The moment the sliding door was unlatched and pulled open, the incongruity deepened. Inside, the walls were clad in deep blue velvet absorbing light and sound, with a quiet luxury that starkly contrasted the van's plain exterior. The seats were custom leather, generously cushioned, and reclinable, designed for comfort over long journeys. Each seat had its own TV monitor carefully integrated to allow passengers their own private visual escape. At the heart of this mobile cocoon was something remarkable, a built-in Super Nintendo entertainment system. The console sat firmly in place, wired discreetly, with a collection of original game cartridges, organized in labeled compartments, preserved as if awaiting a moment of nostalgic reprieve. Above, a mirror panel spanned the ceiling, reflecting the interior in a way that made the compact space feel both larger and surreal, reminiscent of a recording booth or creative sanctuary rather than a van. The whole setup spoke to an artist's need for a refuge on wheels, a place where imagination could roam free, even while on the move. Nestled in a side pouch, almost hidden from casual view, lay a well-worn notebook. The pages were filled with sketches and scribbles, intricate stage designs. detailed notes for tours never realized, and delicate drafts for a proposed children's book that Jackson had begun but never completed. These intimate glimpses revealed a creative mind continually at work, crafting worlds beyond music and dance, looking to inspire future generations through stories yet untold. This van was Michael Jackson's mobile imagination tank, a private retreat where ideas took flight free from the pressures of fame and expectation. It was a testament to the artist's enduring creativity and vulnerability, quietly preserved and hidden away for decades. What made this discovery so compelling was not just the van's unexpected presence, but the story it told about the man behind the myth, blueprints and secrets. As the investigation pressed further into the shadowed corners of Michael Jackson's private garage, what initially appeared to be a simple storage space revealed its layers of mystery. Beyond the familiar collection of vintage cars and gleaming limousines tucked behind a tarp-shrouded motorcycle that looked decades old, a stack of black crates stood silently, almost forgotten. Each crate bore a faded yet unmistakable emblem, the gold-stylized MJJ Productions logo, a relic from Jackson's own creative empire. The crates' surfaces were mottled with dust and age, but still carefully maintained, suggesting these were never meant for public eyes. When archivists carefully pried open the crates, they uncovered an astonishing trove of documents and technology relics frozen in time. First came the blueprints, intricately detailed schematics for concert stages and arena setups that never saw the light of day. These plans were sprawling, expansive, designed for ambitious tours, meant to dwarf even Jackson's legendary history tour of the late 1990s. One document was boldly titled History 2, the Resurrection Tour. The designs showcased stages that incorporated revolutionary elements from multi-tiered platforms and mechanized elevators to immersive light shows engineered to envelop entire stadiums in illusions of grandeur. Handwritten annotations in the margins spoke of interactive audience experiences, hinting at a vision far beyond what was achievable in that era. While there were no flashing alarms or scandalous surprises, what emerged from the garage was something far more powerful, a hidden vault of vision obsession and unfulfilled ambition. Beneath the dust and velvet lay the mind of a man who never stopped creating, who built not just worlds on stage, but sanctuaries in steel and silence. In opening the garage, they hadn't just uncovered forgotten machines, they had unlocked the private map of a genius in motion. The world reacts. When news of the garage's contents first emerged, the reaction was measured but significant among collectors, curators, and historians. Far from a sensational global explosion, it was a quiet acknowledgement of a long overlooked treasure trove. Those who learned of the discovery saw the garage not just as a storage space, but as a carefully preserved sanctuary, a physical time capsule holding pieces of Michael Jackson's private world. The treasures hidden within Michael Jackson's garage are not merely luxury possessions, they are milestones of an ever-evolving artistic journey that spanned decades. Each vehicle, each carefully preserved artifact, reflects a chapter in the life of a man who continually reinvented himself to push the boundaries of music, dance, and performance. The turquoise 1985 Rolls-Royce Corniche, gleaming despite years untouched, symbolizes Michael at the height of his Thriller era, a period when he shattered records and redefined pop culture. One longtime assistant recalled how Michael would sometimes spend hours simply sitting inside his Rolls-Royce Corniche, listening to his music on cassette tapes, lost in thought. It was a quiet refuge, a momentary pause from the whirlwind of his life. This car was more than a status symbol. It was a marker of new beginnings and unprecedented creative freedom. Further inside, the presence of vintage classics like the 1954 Cadillac Fleetwood and the Silver Cloud Rolls-Royce speak to Michael's growing appreciation for timeless elegance and artistic refinement, mirroring his transformation during the Bad and Dangerous albums. These cars whisper stories of an artist who balanced youthful exuberance with a maturing, more introspective identity. The collection's rarest piece, the matte black Phantom 6, with no rear windows and advanced interior technology, embodies the later years, a time marked by guarded privacy and a retreat from the public eye. This vehicle tells a story of a visionary artist seeking sanctuary and control amid mounting pressures and relentless scrutiny. Interest quickly grew among experts who recognized the cultural and historical value of the auction houses, discreetly approached the Jackson estate, with offers hoping to gain access to the rare collection and related memorabilia. Proposals for exhibitions and retrospectives soon followed, promising to deepen public understanding of the King of Pop's life beyond the spotlight. But the Jackson estate's response was firm and unexpected. None of it would ever be sold. Instead, the garage was sealed once more, but this time with purpose and respect. Detailed inventories were made, every item cataloged, every recording archived. The space became a monument to Michael Jackson's complex humanity, preserved not as a commodity, but as a sacred testament. If you uncovered something Michael Jackson hid for a reason, would you keep it sealed or share it with the world? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching this video with us, and catch you in the next one.